Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is going to be the Essence lipstick review. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. This is going to be a quick overview of the new lipsticks that Essence has to offer in their fall winter collection. There are 2 different formulas. There are 6 shades in one and then 7 shades in the other, and I'm going to be putting them all on my lips for you today so you can have a look what these look like when you would wear them. So if you couldn't find any swatches yet, or you've been eyeing these up in store and you're questioning, your question is, should I buy any of these? Then maybe this video can be helpful. I did use a little bit of this Catrice lip peptide mask thing to sort of nourish my lips. My lips have been incredibly dry the past couple of days, and I'm hoping that this will help. But I finally used up my CO Big Ol' Lip Balm, so that makes me happy. The 2 lipstick formulas from Essence that I have for you are the new Satin Glow, and this is a Luminous Shine lipstick. And this just feels like a regular lipstick would. I don't think, though, that you should twist these up too far because they are a very creamy formula and then your bullet could break off. And the other formula they have is the Hydra Kiss Lip Tint. This one comes in 7 shades, the Satin Glow in 6. It's just a doe foot applicator and then essentially a lip tint. I did already swatch all of these on the back of my hand, and the Hydra Kiss lip tints definitely left a stain, and they feel very much like a K-Beauty lip tint. So if you already have a lot of lip tints like I do, then maybe that formula isn't that interesting to you. But I do appreciate that Essence is bringing K-Beauty formulas at a very affordable price point to the masses. So let me see what all of these shades look like on me. And the first shade I have for you is Whole Latte Love. And as you can see, it does have a little bit of a color indication on the tube, which I appreciate, but let me see where it went. This is what Essence did before. This is the Glossy Glaze High Shine lipstick. So this is the Luminous Shine lipstick, and this is a High Shine lipstick. But essentially, the packaging is identical, and I accidentally bought one of these when I ordered the others, and this essentially looks like it's the same product, but with a slightly different name. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, because this just feels essentially like Essence is redoing its own lipstick line under a slightly different name with slightly different shades. It just make sense, people. This is why I feel Essence and Catrice shouldn't discontinue products as quickly as they do, because if you got a good thing going, then why not keep doing it? But I think it's like a cost thing with them as well. Like, my theory is that the reason why they do these switcheroos every 6 months is so that they don't have to manage really long-term contracts and have to make sure the product stays the same over a longer period of time. This way they can produce like a couple of batches of product and then they can move on to something else. I definitely think that's the way it goes. And I think that that's how they keep costs down, because that means you just, you don't have to like invest in long-term product quality. I definitely think that's why. So let's see how this one looks on the lips. So this is Whole Lotta Love, or Whole Latte Love, and these are just a little bit too creamy for this like very clear packaging. It feels super cheap, and I got lipstick all over, and I didn't twist it up that far at all. These can just be a little bit messy. The pigmentation is there. I mean, if you like brown lipstick, then I'm pretty sure you're going to like this, but this is not my favorite shade. I knew that going into it. Let's see what the other shades look like on me. Shade 02 is Blushing It, and I don't, yeah. See, this is what I mean with cheap packaging. Mine came, like, the entire lipstick, like, just comes out, which it really shouldn't do that. I don't think these are good enough to travel with for that reason. And this apparently is also a brown, but slightly lighter than the first one. So this is what the shade Blushing It looks like on me. It's a bit of a weird shade. I thought it was going to be more brown tone than it actually is. It's more like a milk chocolate latte kind of vibe, I feel. It does have a hint of pink to it, so I understand the name now a little bit better. But this, again, it just doesn't really go with my coloring very well. It's just a little bit too light. It's almost too nude for me, and it kind of clashes with my natural lip color, so that's why I don't love this one. Number 3 is Rose and Shine, and this is probably going to be my favorite. I don't think there is a red. There seems to be like a berry and 2 darker browns left, but of all 6 shades, I think I'm going to like this best. But it could be too warm toned for me. That's sort of the issue I had when I was swatching a lot of these on the back of my hand. I was like, oh, this is all very, very warm toned, so I'm not entirely sure there's anything here that I would want to keep long term. It's not as perfect as this is even grosser than the first 2. Like, I'm getting it all over this lipstick tube, which is just not a good look. And I can feel the plastic scraping my lips as I apply it because I'm afraid that if I twist it up too far, I'm gonna smudge it even further. It's not a good thing. So here's what Rose and Shine looks like on me. I mean, it's okay, it's beautiful, it's very inoffensive. If you like these like rosy pinks, I think you can really enjoy this. It's a very rich, creamy formula that's super easy to remove. I don't see these lasting a very long time on your lips though. If you're looking for like a long wear shiny lipstick, this isn't the one. I think a MAC Satin is probably going to be your best bet. But I mean, it's okay. It's very inoffensive. It's good lipstick for sure. But there's nothing here that wows me. Shade 4 is Let's Get Mauvin, and this looks like it's going to be like a bright berry, but then when you look at the tube, it's not that purple. This is, I think, the only true cool tone in the entire range. Now we're talking. This is a lot better for me. This is a beautiful color. It goes really well actually with this light blue blouse that I'm wearing today, so that's a win. And this is definitely a little bit more cool tone than the first one that I just showed you. This is, if you're looking for a good cool tone pink, then I think this can be something that you might enjoy. It's got a little bit of purple, it's got a little bit of pink, it's very creamy, but these aren't very precise. Like, these bullets are just a little bit too thick to apply them like precisely onto my lips. I think that's why I'm smudging the lipsticks all over the packaging as well, because I just kind of struggle to get it to go on where my lips are. But yeah, so far, this is my favorite shade. I just have plenty of shades in my lipstick collection that can do this, but if you're looking for a good mauve tone, like neutral pinky tone, like this is still, like if you have a cool undertone, this is going to be a neutral on you. So this is beautiful, especially if you have fair skin. I just don't think it's going to be unique enough for my makeup collection. 05 is another brown. This is Chai There. So out of all of the browns we've tried so far, I actually think this is the most flattering because it has that hint of red to it that makes it a little bit more wearable for me. So it's called Chai There. And this is pretty. It's very, very beautiful. It kind of reminds me of a more brown tone version of MAC Stay Curious that I have. So yeah, it is successful that way. This is a beautiful color for the fall season for sure. Like if you want that sort of latte inspired look, I would go for this kind of shade over the one that's actually called Latte. But yeah, so far, like the further we get into this line, there are more shades there that are a little bit more successful for me. But again, same issue as with the others. And for some reason, going onto the lips, this formula feels weirdly thick. It doesn't feel that way once it's on, but when you're applying it, it's like, it feels pretty stiff. I don't know, I can't describe it. And the final shade is Deja-brew, so that makes me think this is supposed to be like coffee brown. Could be a cool tone brown, actually. It's very deep though, so I think this is better if you want a neutral lip and you have deep skin, then I think this is going to be for you. Okay, so this is getting really messy because the bullet is just too big and the contrast between my lips, my skin tone, and this lipstick is just far too big. But it is a beautiful lipstick. It's actually reminding me a little bit of Velvet Decade by Lisa Eldridge. It is that sort of depth. It has a little bit of a purpley red to it, but it's still a brown. So it is a cool tone. If you were looking for a really good vampy option, or like I said, if you have deep skin, this is probably going to be a nude on you. I think this is a beautiful lipstick. This is definitely something different from Essence that we haven't seen before. The shade I would keep, if I had to keep any of them, is shade 4, which is the Mauvin tone that I just showed you. But these two later browns work for me quite well as well. This one perhaps not the best because it's such a slippy, slidey sort of formula. I would not dare wear something like this long-term on my lips and have the risk of it going all over my teeth. It's just too imprecise to apply. Maybe with a lip, like a lip pencil. No, what's it called? A lip brush. Couldn't think of the word. You can get this to look more precise and then it's probably going to work. But yeah, I do like the undertone of this. This is a beautiful shade. And that brings me to the Hydra Kiss formula because those were the 6 shades in this Satin Glow range. I like it alright, but nothing here truly stands out to me. I think I will be passing most of these on after I give them a bit of a clean. But with the Hydra Kiss, like I said, there are 7 of these, so let me put them in order so we can have a look at what these look like on the lips. So first things first, there is shade number 1. This is called Blushing Nude. The only downside with these is that you can't really see the shade of the product really well, I find, because like I think that the name of the product is supposed to be like a window to the actual product, but then the actual tube is this light baby pink that makes them all look the same when they're in the tube. On the doe foot, this looks like a brownie, peachy nude sort of thing. Not my vibe, not necessarily my favorite thing. That's not necessarily my vibe, not necessarily my cup of tea. And like I said, these do stain. So I'm going to put them on so you can see the color and I'm going to wipe it off immediately so that the colors don't influence each other. Here is 01 Blushing Nude. So that was like it was almost too close to call there when it comes to it staining my lips immediately. So these dry down. It's a very wet formula and it dries instantly. So it doesn't feel like it's going to dry out your lips. It's not that kind of drying, but it's just a very wet formula initially. And once that dries, the pigment just goes into your lips and it's going to stain, which is the idea of these, of course. 02 is called Vintage Rose, which looks like it's going to be like a neutral sort of pinky tone. On the doe foot, these look very different. So this is Vintage Rose. Vintage Rose is pretty, but it's sort of like the wrong shade of pink for me personally. I think it can be really beautiful if you have very fair skin and like blue eyes. I think it's going to work really well, but it has this peachy undertone that I'm not a huge fan of, so I would skip that shade. 03 is Rosy Blossom. I think this is just a slightly deeper version of shade number 2, Vintage Rose. This is Rosy Blossom. So Rosy Blossom was your classic My Lips But Better kind of shade. It was the exact same shade as my natural lip color, so that's always going to look good on me. What I'm noticing that I'm putting 3 of these on, yes, it's a wet formula, but there's also quite a lot of product on the doe foot when you apply it. So there's actually a little bit too much, and then when I mush my lips together, it tends to spread everywhere. I know that a lot of people will say that you shouldn't mush your lips together when you're putting on a lip stain. If I don't do that though, I cannot apply lipstick to my my top lip because my bottom lip is a lot bigger than my top lip. So I always use my bottom lip to transfer to my top lip and only fill in the blanks, you could say, because if I don't do it that way, I have a lot of lipstick going to my top lip where it shouldn't be if I do apply it full on. So I sort of use the transfer method to make my lipstick go on okay. Number 4 is Classy Red. And like, do you know what I see? Like, do you know what I mean? If I look at this in the tube, it doesn't look red at all. And then when I look at the doe foot, it looks a bit brown. And so these are weird when it comes to shade payoff, but maybe on the lips, it's brighter. So far, they've all been brighter on the lips than what they look like in the tube. This is 04 Classy Red. And I like the stain better than I do the actual lipstick. So Classy Red is actually a little bit more brown leaning than I feel that it's red leaning. It does leave a really pretty, more vibrant red stain though, but the color that goes on when you first apply it is more like Mac Chili or Lisa Eldridge's Cinnabar than a true red, I find. So it's very brown, it's very warm, and therefore not my favorite. 05 is chocolate brown, and that's the only one that looks very different from the other ones once it's in the tube. And I think this could actually be quite a dark brown. So we'll see how this goes. So here is 05 chocolate brown. So chocolate brown is pretty. I thought it looked pretty good in the viewfinder, but in real life it looked super patchy. When it went on initially, it looked like a really beautiful dark brown, but as I was using the doe foot to push the product around on my lips and to try and get an even layer all over my lips, it got patchy. There were dark spots in some spots on my lips, and then my natural lip color was coming through in others, so that shade I definitely wouldn't recommend, but perhaps if you do have deep skin, it can be a good color for you. I didn't think it was the same as the other ones, but it could be because it's too much of a contrast with what I've got going on naturally. Shade 06 is Berry Crush. This looks like a mauve on the doe foot. This is 06 Berry Crush. Berry Crush is beautiful. It is indeed a very light, cool tone mauvey pink. Really beautiful on, but again, nothing super special, but if you want a good cool tone, this line does have it. And then we have 07, this is Hazelnut Haze, which is another brown, which I'm not sure I want to end on that because I do have to film another video after this, and my lips are starting to feel very raw from swatching all of these because they take a little bit of effort to get them to come off. So here we have Hazelnut Haze. It's okay. My lips have gotten so red from all the swatches of these that I definitely think this one is being skewed a little bit, but it's actually quite pretty. I hadn't expected that because it looks like it's just going to be a straight up brown, but then you can sort of see it on the doe foot. It seems to have quite a bit of red running through it, which is why I can like pull it off. So it's probably pulling on that redness that I've got in my lips now anyways. So yeah, this is okay. This feels very comfortable. These are going to be long lasting because they have the staining effect. Of course, most of the color is going to be wiped off throughout the day, but you will have that stain, and I don't think that unless you scrub your lips, it's going to be gone completely. And if you have a lot of fine lines in your lips, that does mean that the color can sort of bunch up in there, and that can look a little bit weird throughout the day. In my experience, lip stains are dreadful for reapplication throughout the day as well, because very often what will happen is that in the areas where there's still product left, if you put another layer on top, that layer will darken and then the lipstick is going to look super uneven. So it's one of those products you apply on the day at like in the morning and then you just wear it throughout the day. If you do want to do any sort of touch up, just a bit of clear lip balm. That's all you need. If you feel like your lips are getting a little bit dry, just a bit of clear lip balm, and it's actually going to allow you to smudge things around again. And then if you just let it sit for 30 minutes, it's going to stay put again. So that has been my hack for making lip stains work for a full day. So thanks so much for joining me here today. These were the new Essence lipsticks, the Satin Glow and Hydra Kiss Lip Tints. I really hope you enjoyed it and that you got something out of this video. Thanks so much for being here. I do have another lipstick video left that's going to be with Catrice's new Endless Matte lipsticks. That's one I haven't reviewed yet, so that's coming to you in October, and then I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and hope to see you again really soon in a new video. Bye bye.